Doing fine. I hope you're doing okay. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko in here to take you through the remaining few hours of the show as well. And speaking of the entire day, as you can definitely see, it's a Tuesday, another beautiful day for you to make some good money for yourself, another beautiful Tuesday for you to set some new goals and see how you can execute them. That is very important for an individual out there in the world. It's highly important for you to anticipate good information and to also anticipate that things will be okay for you as an individual. Sometimes we always have to set our minds ready to start off a new day, and once your mind is set, what you feed your mind is ideally what it has to take. So you need to feed your mind with great information, and you need to feed your mind with information that is definitely going to be vital for the growth of your business and also for those around you. You need to be a change that you want to see in society. You need to be that change that people are going to look at and definitely pick lessons from. So you are, as an individual, wherever you are, you get to realize every new day that comes by, you always have to live for that day. As you're preparing for the next one, you still have to make sure that this one also counts, and definitely forgetting the bad experiences you faced on the previous one, but moving forward and seeking for better opportunities for you to realize how great and how important it is for you as an individual. So as we continue to move and as we continue to grow, as the year also comes to an end, you get to realize that differently, that everybody who is moving on in the country right now is struggling with financial constraints in one way or the other. It may not be as a hard one as others are, but you get to realize that everyone has their own challenges. And it's now a rainy season, and highly expected to be a rainy season till late December. So which shows you that for the people who are doing outdoor businesses, you need to be very strategic now. And not only that, but you need to be very vigilant of the kind of weather that you're going to be operating into. So that means the kind of businesses that you choose at this particular moment in time, you have to make sure that it shouldn't affect you, or the weather shouldn't lay anything to do with that. So you get to see that most people are already shifting to new business ideas, especially those who are doing businesses outdoor. Other people are actually venturing into, let's say, selling of jackets, selling of coats, sweaters, umbrellas. Those are some of the businesses that can earn you some money currently. People who are selling some flasks and all that may be happening. So you get to realize how important that is for everyone who is making their way through in the business world. Across the entire world, if you're to look at the East African scope, the Kenyan president, William Ruto, will be swearing in today as president-elect. Now, he's going to be fully president for the next 5 years in Kenya, taking it from Uhuru Kenyatta, who was his former president, because he was currently the vice president at the time. Now he will be leading Kenya, which is East African Community's strongest economy in there. So the economic powerhouse in East Africa is having a new president, and he's taking his oath today. So he will be leading the government of Kenya in the next years until the other presidential elections set center stage. But speaking of more from that directive, if we are to continue to look at the other situations coming in across the world, like I did mention, now from the United Kingdom perspective, is that they already have now a new king, that is King Charles, who follows in the hands or in the footsteps of his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, who passed on last week. That was last week. So when you also look at closely what is coming in from the world of business as well, like I did mention here from Uganda, for instance, if we are to break it down for you to arguably understand how the economic space is moving on in Uganda, you get to realize that everyone who is, for example, those who are trading at the outdoor of the city, everyone is trying to earn some money in there. Over the weekend, I happened to move close to western Uganda, moved to areas of Chegegwa, moved to areas of Mubende Michiana, and I got to realize that as well, in most of these areas, business is not moving on so fast as it should be. But however much small and medium-sized enterprises are earning some good money, it's a season when you get to realize SMEs, it is easier to start up a business from the SME sector and earn some money as well from that sector, because ideally most of the goods and commodities that are being sold under this sector or by the traders who fall under the small and medium-sized enterprises are basically goods and commodities that can easily be bought by those individuals who don't earn too much money, or that are easily affordable to everyone who is out there. So at the end of the day, you get to also understand that the scope is quite open. The business space is also quite open for everyone, and that means in the SME sector, the chances are very high that you can become successful under this sector if you're very strategic as an individual. So these are things that you need to look at steadily and see how you're going to benefit off them, and see how you're going to make good ends meet at the end of the day. So it is something that you need to understand arguably well, that you as an individual, these are things that you need to work on more and more as time goes by and as time passes on. With time, you also get to realize that it's not easy to do business, by the way, under this sector if it's raining. And at the time that we're in the rainy season. Now, as we're in the rainy season at this time, like I did mention, the meteorologists apparently expect that by the end of December, we highly expect this rain to shoot up to late December. So at the end of the day, with the weather forecast on that gap, or as we look at it in that way, you realize that SMEs who are mainly doing business outdoor may have to switch to doing it indoor, or either way will be able to switch to a business that is more suitable for the kind of weather conditions that we are facing currently. So it's not easy to do business in such a time, and it's a time when you get to realize that weather has an impact on business or in any other economic activity that happens, unless you set your strategies right, and unless you're moving into situations that should be taking you off guard if you're a business person. But at this moment in time, I would definitely want to first of all get into the SMB Insight. Now, our SMB Insight this morning is literally taking us to the issue of looking at the purpose of trade unions amidst the economic crisis. When you get to realize how everyone is trying to make money, but the trade unions give an opportunity for traders to come through and share ideas, not only sharing ideas, but also making sure that there are discussions that they can have, discussions that they can set at the end of it all, to ensure that everyone who is affected by the current economic crisis cannot easily be laid out at the situation that we're actually facing as we move on, as we grow as the country. But of course, we are still with the issue to do with economic recovering and all that, but the matters to do with trade unions and their purpose or their importance is what we have with the SMB Insight in here, and this one is coming in from the CEO of Kampala City Traders Association. So let us have more from the SMB Insight.
Any business person that starts or has an idea of doing business has got to set up business objectives, which I believe one of the objectives is to have a business grow. And for you to achieve business growth, it takes a lot. Why you should register with Kasita Uganda? We enable you to get the networks. We enable you to access information that is relevant in your business. Whom to do business with, where to go, what to do and what not to do. In the formalization, what do you need? All that is information, and that can be accessed through, Kasita. We also have registered success stories of business referrals. We have many people that come to Kasita and they are asking us, I'm in need of product X, service Y. Where should I go? So I'll give a business referral to someone that I know. I'll get to my database, someone that I know. If I say, go to Smart 24. It means that this client is not going to come here because he knows Smart 24, but because I have referred him, he trusts me and will trust your service even before consumption. When there's a lot of social capital that we expose to our members. Your growth is not only on the liquid capital that you have, the money that you have. No, the members that you join, that you share with, the thoughts and sentiments, they also add to the business growth. We've witnessed people changing business lines because of the social networks that we have exposed them to. And you know, you started as a manufacturer, along the way you realize I should just be a distributor because of these social networks that we do provide. So I would implore anyone, and the good thing, this is Kasita Uganda. My membership is across the country. I have members from Mbarara, Mbale, Kotido, all over. So I would implore everyone to actually subscribe to Kasita Uganda for more of these benefits. To start any business, you need to consider a business plan. You need to do a feasibility study. The business that you're going to actually operate, which kind of environment do you need? You don't need to get into manufacturing and you rent an arcade in the middle of the city. It won't work. 2, look at the audience that you're targeting. What is the proximity? If you're targeting fishermen, because you're going to be selling maybe fishing nets or boats, engines, so then why would you go to Kabale where there are no fishing activities? If you're in general merchandise, for example, you look at if Babu is from Mukono and he's one of your target audiences who is in distribution, why would you then go to Mbale and you want to serve people of Kampala? So those are some of the things. Then look at the level of capital. If you have a 10 million capital that you're starting with, why would you rent on an apartment where you're paying 3 million per month? Okay? At the end of the day, look at the services that you're offering. The people that you're going to employ, why would you have 10 employees that are going to simply be seated and you incur costs? So all those factors have got to be considered. And as Kasita, we have many training grounds, we have many training programs where this may not be taken for granted that everyone knows them. No, we have to always educate them. We have to always remind them of the do's and don'ts in businesses. Thank you.
He did mention of the importance of branding. You get to realize branding of your business speaks a lot about who you're addressing and who is going to buy goods from you. So these are things that people need to at least view differently from your space. So branding can entirely change your customer space, or it can entirely change the people that you're actually addressing or the people that you want to buy your product. So at the end of it all, we all have these expectations of our businesses. We always set up this business as thinking of what are we going to receive at the end of it all, or which customers are going to come in, are we going to make these profits, and what is going to happen in there, or is our business moving on so well? So when you mention when you look at the issue of branding, by the way, at such a time, the brand that you have speaks a lot about you as an individual, or about you as the company, or your brand entirely represents your business ideas. It entirely represents your services that you provide as an entity. So protecting your brand is important, and so it is something that you really need to look at as very, very vital for the growth of your business. You also get to understand that in a space that we're actually living in currently, your branding goes with a lot of marketing as well, doing a lot of the groundwork as a business person. So with your marketing, you can now use social media, which is ideally advisable. If you're to look at that most people get to realize how important it is to use social media to market your products and marketing your goods, because once you do so, it is very important, and it will clearly give your business some serious growth. So your marketing has to be on point, and you have to ensure that people get to know of the products that you're selling. Either your marketing should be focusing on either customers who are close to you, but when you look at the issue of expansion, you have to look at even customers that are out of your reach in terms of the destinations that they are found, or in terms of where they are located. So these are some of the things that you need to look back at and ensure that they smoothly move in more and more. So at the end of everything, the discussions that we normally keep on having here take us back to bridging the gap, bridging gaps to situations that come through, and also take us into validations of whether our businesses are worthy our energy or not. So it is more advisable that you get to set your strategies right and ensure that your brand grows. So your brand growing entirely means that your business is going to grow, because your brand may grow by the mere fact that people get to know about it. That if you've been setting up business in Kampala, then you get to realize there are people in Mukono who are speaking about your same business. So at the end of the day, you get to also understand that if you want to set up branches, for example, if you're a business person who has a shop, for example, or should we say a boutique or anything of that sort, you also get to understand that if I have people speaking about my business or my brand, for example, in Mukono or in Masaka, in areas in Barara or any other area, you can as well expand, because now you know you already have people that you're actually addressing to, and those are the people that you're going to set your business for. So speaking of setting your businesses and making sure that people get to understand that, well, this is your business, and your business should be ideally given priority. So that means your branding and your marketing should be a key priority. Now, you also mentioned on the issue of getting into Kasita or getting into trade unions, because if you're a registered member of an association, you get to understand that associations give you a lot of more chances to engage with various investors, various entrepreneurs, and various business-minded people, because these people are going to speak a lot of businesses or business ideas with you. And at the end of the day, even when you're failing to achieve the set goals for your business, these same people make it easier for you to at least keep in there or keep in check. So clearly, if we go back to a situation of looking at how businesses continue to move further and grow in such times of, let's say, post-COVID-19 recovery and the situation of inflation that is actually eating up most of the economies, you get to understand that trade unions, for example, or when you look at countries that are engaging in joining regional integrations, just like other countries, like when you saw the DRC coming into the East African community, we have Somalia, which also wants to be part of this. There are some high chances that come with you joining integrations or you joining unions, because with unions, you get to understand the scope of business, because you're now dealing with various individuals or various entrepreneurs, various business-minded people who always share their experiences, share their challenges and all that, and also give you ways on how to overcome some of these problems that you may be encountering in your business life. So this is one of the reasons as to why it is important to get into some of these trade unions for any other business person in there. So these are things that you can closely look at as an individual and see how best you can benefit of it. And with the insight here taking us through as well, giving us the advantage of greatly understanding why it is important for individuals to seek for trade unions or seek for trader groups. These trader groups will give you at least an advantage, like I said, to at least see that if your business is going to expand, you have people who have been there doing the same thing that you're doing, or doing something different but have something similar to tell, or a story that is similar to yours to tell. And at the end of the day, if you share ideas with them, you share these conversations that you have in business, you get to realize that even amidst these economic hard times that we have, you will definitely be having someone to look at or individuals that will strengthen you, and business-minded people that will give you a new line of doing business and help you overcome some of the challenges that you're facing. And all right, now that is definitely going to take us to a break. When we do return, we have our topic of discussion, and our topic of discussion will be looking at the parastatal institutions and the issue to do with their revival. What are some of the hardships that that actually hit the revival process of these particular parastatal organizations, and how can we deal with that in case of anything that has collapsed but it has to be revived back in the government way? Please stick around with us this morning. I'll be right back.